Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We are going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Scorpio for the end of June. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Scorpio, we're going to be taking a look here at what's coming to a close for you here as we wrap up June. Now, the timeline on this reading will be from June 23rd all the way until July 10th. The reason I chose July 10th is that is the full moon in Capricorn. All right, so let's see what we have here for you, Scorpio. We'll go ahead and get all the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right. And I think that's looking just about good enough to me for right now. Energy on the bottom. You do have the Death card. All right, so the Death card, many people are concerned when they see this card. My view on this card is, this does not literally mean death and dying, right? The Death card instead is a major transformation that you are going through in your life, okay? So this can be a change. This can be an ending. It can be a change, an ending. It can be a transformation that you're looking to undertake, or as you see this interpretation of the Death card, this is actually Kali Ma on the Death card. Kali Ma is the destroyer of fear. So the Death card can signify that you have some fear that you are looking to overcome, okay, or that you're looking to transform into something positive. Another way of looking at this is you could consider this going from the caterpillar to the butterfly, right? It's butterfly or caterpillar energy when you get the Death card. You're making a major change or transformation in your life. So I definitely think that something pretty good is happening for you here, right? So when you see something like the Death card or you see something like the Tower in the tarot, you have to take all of the cards into consideration, for sure. And for you, it seems like there's a really, really positive change or transformation that is on the horizon for you here as I look at these amazing cards that you've pulled for yourself here, Scorpio. So let's go ahead and let's dive into this. So in the middle here, it definitely feels like some of you have been waiting for results at this time, okay? You may have put in an application, or you may have been working really hard on a project at home or a project at work, and this could indicate that the results are on the way here. And what I would say is this feels like a bigger deal, okay? This isn't something small, this is like a bigger deal. For example, like if you have been working on a project at work, this is something that could maybe lead to a promotion, or this is something that could maybe accelerate your career in some way because of the influence of the Death card, right? So the Knight of Pentacles, it's all about results, but the idea with the Knight of Pentacles is this is something that you've been in a long time, okay? So there's an element of time with the Knight of Pentacles, meaning you've worked hard at something for a while, and you're now finally getting the results that you deserve after having gone through some period of hard work. This can signify an event coming into your life as well if it's not about results. But you have this idea here with the Death card, with the Knight of Pentacles. There could be some positive transformations here in your financial situation. One thing is for sure, I do think that you've been in a period of hard work here. I am getting this word application. I think some of you have put in an application, okay? And this doesn't, by the way, when I say the word application, certainly this could be a job application because of these two pages here. But I actually think some of you have maybe applied for a visa. Maybe some of you have applied to study somewhere. Some of you have maybe put in an application for financial assistance or a loan or something along these lines. And you've been waiting to hear back in some way, okay? And this feels, again, this feels like a bigger deal because of the influence of the Death card, okay? Now in the first column here, you have the Page of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. incredible energy, right? Incredible energy here for sure in this reading. Now, what I will say is, first we have double pages, the 2 pages I really like to see, and then we've got double aces as well. So this is very, very good stuff. A page and an ace in the first 2 columns. Okay, so before I get into those cards, let me just start off by looking at this 9 of Swords, which this result that you're waiting for here, this is, I think, really heavy on your mind, okay? This is something that you may even be ruminating about. Is it going to be approved? Is it going to be denied? What is the result going to be here, I think, is what some of you are thinking about, okay, Scorpio. And this person here is very clearly thinking about something. They're anxious about something. And also, the key word with 9 of Swords is fear, okay? And remember, we started off here with this Kalima energy, right? This idea of destroying fear in one's life with the Death card, and now the influence of the 9 of Swords. Okay, so I think some of you here are definitely working through some fear state, which I think is totally normal. And yeah, I mean, I think everybody has fear at some point in their life, right? And I don't want to go into it too far, but like basically fear is a necessary thing for humans. Fear prevents us, for example, from running through a red light or running through a stoplight. Fear is just part of the experience that we have as people, right? But there's a point where we allow fear to take control. And I think this is the one thing that some of you you're not going to let that happen. I don't think you're going to let fear take control because of you really only have 1 challenge card here, maybe 2 with the Death card and the 9 of Swords. But yeah, so I don't think you're going to let fear take control, okay? I think you're going to run right through the fear. Now you've got this Ace of Swords with the Page of Wands. This is a really positive development going on for you here at this period of time. Ace of Swords is a breakthrough. Page of Wands can represent news, okay? Really any page in the tarot can represent news. Any ace can represent a new beginning. So, but with this Ace of Swords, it's more about like a breakthrough, okay? And I think that this might be a breakthrough in communication. So I think that if you've been waiting for something, I think that this is coming forward here, okay? A new beginning, a breakthrough happening here with the Page of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Page of Wands is the card I like to see for a job application, okay? Or a job offer, okay? For sure, with this combination. I think that some of you have been waiting for that for sure, Scorpio. If you're not of working age, it may be some other type of application that you've applied for, maybe some like health insurance or retirement benefits, something like along these lines. This could certainly be the case. In the middle, you have the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. I actually just noticed here that the middle column is all Pentacles. This is really nice for you, okay? This is really nice. So there is some obvious financial twist to this circumstance that you're in. Obviously, if you're looking to be hired for a role, there's a financial offer that comes with that hiring, right? So, or if you're looking, I think this application has some type of like financial backing to it, or some sort of like financial tie-in to it in some way. But there is a group of you, there are some of you here that have applied to study somewhere, okay? And this might be going back to school, like a formal college. The reason I say that is the Page of Pentacles is sort of like the learner, or one of the learners of the tarot. And again, pages can indicate communication coming in. You may get accepted here for some of you. This won't be for everyone. And by the way, it may not even be a traditional college or university. Maybe you've applied to get into some program. There are so many different like courses and seminars and like groups that you can join that you have to apply for. Maybe some of you are getting into that as well. I will say this is a real estate combination here for sure. I even see the house. You have two real estate cards here in the future as well. I do think that they're, having gone through the real estate process myself, the purchasing and the sale process myself, personally in my own life, these things take time, and there's like a lot of waiting to hear back. Did they accept your offer? There's a lot of paperwork involved in that. So I think that some of you may also be waiting about there may be a real estate transaction for some of you here, Scorpio, as well. Um, yeah, that would not surprise me either. But there is some financial result that you have been waiting for here, and it looks very, very good. There's no doubt, though, you're definitely thinking about it quite a bit with the Nine of Swords and the Death card. Ace of Pentacles can talk about it. Both of these cards, Knight and Ace, in some way can indicate profit, but on the other end, they can indicate like planting a seed as well. So it could either be the sale or the purchase of something bigger. So that would be like a car, a home, something, right? Substantial. So I really like this for you. It seems like the results are very positive here. In the final column, you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. So double tens here, you're getting the completion, very clear. These are the tens you really want to see as well in the tarot. Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, they're the ones you really, really want to see. Both the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups are real estate cards, as I mentioned, because you see the estate here, this family, the grandparents, the parents, the children, the dogs. They live in this estate, right? And they're presumably wealthy. You can even see in this interpretation how they're dressed. And then also the house here in the background on the Ten of Cups. This family owns the house there as well. So these are family cards in addition to real estate cards. So one thing I didn't touch on is there could be an inheritance here as well. You kind of have the full gamut when it comes to like a financial reading here. For some of you, this could be about like a job offer here with the Page of Wands. For some of you, this may be about real estate transaction. Maybe there's an inheritance. You really have the full gamut because you have a card that touches on each one of those elements present in this reading. So this is something I just want to throw out to you, okay? And I would say that there's a lot of success in this area. And with the double tens, I think that this is going to resolve. You will get the result, and this will come to a successful closure or completion here for sure. With the Six of Wands, this event may see you making a transition in your life in some way. Okay, so for example, you may transition from renting to homeownership. You may transition from being like in a career forever to being a student temporarily, right? For those of you who are learning, or you may even be making a career transition from one job to another here. So from like one career field to another field with the Six of Swords, for sure. But you're taking your experiences with you as you make this change or this transition in your life. This is really, really positive, Scorpio. I love this energy for you. Why don't we go ahead and move into the clarifications portion of this reading. I'll start off by pulling some oracle cards here. And now I'm using the 22 Archangels Oracle. This is by Kyle Gray. I have just about all of his oracle decks. And yeah, this is the first set of readings I'm doing with this deck. I happen to really like it, but let me know what you think about this, this oracle deck. All right. Go ahead and pull a couple of these, and let's see what the energy on the bottom is. Hope. Authentic reclamation. It's time to call back all the lost parts of yourself. I think you're learning something about yourself through this transition period, through this transformation period here. Again, the influence of the Death card would indicate that this is big, but also that you're probably learning something through this. I think that there's been some self-analysis here with the Nine of Swords and the Death card around like, okay, is this fear misplaced? Am I going to let the fear take control of me or take control of this situation? You then have faith, moving mountains. Trust in your ability to create miracles. The impossible is becoming possible. You then have charity, pillar of service. Serve with a gracious heart and know God is serving you. Now, a note on this card, you don't have to be like a God-based person. The way that I view these cards is like God is like a frequency or an energy that you can tap into. Okay, so just know that this is more of a frequency, right? So, and if you are, that's great as well, by the way. So, you then have Sandalphon, I think is how you say this, building the bridge. Your role is to create a connection between heaven, earth, and all hearts. You then have Shamuel, relationship assignments. No one crosses your path by chance. Choose to see the deeper reasons for the people in your life. Early impressions of this deck, I love this Shamuel card because I do believe this, right? This idea of like relationship assignments. I do think that we meet everybody we meet for a reason. Okay, even if you just have a passing conversation with someone, I think there's a reason for this meeting. Okay, and yeah, I think that this is something that maybe you're also learning here as well. Even if you're in like with these pages, right? These pages and the nights, these can all indicate people in our lives. And so like even if there's somebody like, for example, a loan officer or somebody who's helping you get into university or whatever the case may be, you may be meeting this person or you may have been assigned this person for a reason, right? So why don't we go ahead and clarify this reading even more. Now, Scorpio, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I really do hope things are going well for you. All right, you have the King of Wands. Speaking of people, you have the King of Pentacles again, and the Emperor. Wow. Okay, this is King energy here, okay? So just keep in mind that when I do these readings, these are energies, so it doesn't matter what gender you are when you're watching this. King, Queen, Knight, Page, doesn't matter. The idea of the Kings is this may indicate that you are taking authority or control over a situation, okay? And so you've got these double Kings, plus the Emperor is a major card of authority. And leading by example, walking your talk, these sorts of things are showing up here. And I think that this is really nice that you got the double Kings and the Emperor here in this first column, because this column has the Nine of Swords. Okay, so I think you're calling out any sort of fear state that you may be living within. And I think that I think that this is good. I don't think you're letting fear take control of this situation very clearly, okay? Now, the Emperor can really indicate success in business dealings or in career situations, or just general success in your situation, okay? This is somebody who is, it's like, I always say, the Emperor is like big boss energy. This person's a boss, okay? They take charge, they take control, they take ownership and authority and leadership over a situation. And usually the Emperor's in front of people, right? They are leading people in some way. And I think that this is more about the self for you, okay? Because it's here with the Nine of Swords. I've noticed nines in the tarot refer to the self, okay? So it's more so you, connected to you. Nines are more so connected to you. And you have this here with the Emperor, okay? King of Pentacles and the King of Wands is really nice. The King of Pentacles is another card of hard work, and you have this here with the Knight of Pentacles. So with the Ace of Swords, I do think that you are having some breakthrough here in the way that you approach work. There's some like work breakthrough here as well, I think. Not just your hardworking nature, but I also think your career as well. And then the King of Wands is somebody who's, by the way, the King of Pentacles, this may look at your habits, your routines, and you finding success through your habits and your routines, typically financial success as well, through your habits and your routines. So you may want to take a look at, your sleep schedule. You may want to take a look at like just the way that you organize things, in your situation, stuff like this, right? You then have the King of Wands here. King of Wands can indicate like somebody who's, it's the entrepreneur of the tarot, but it's somebody who is really successful in the career space as well, and somebody who's very talented. Okay, you have the Three of Cups. You have the Three of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and the Nine of Swords again. Okay. Three of Pentacles, this is your colleagues, the people that you work with. I think there could be a shift or a change going on here. I think that there's also, like, if you're not changing jobs, like if you haven't put in applications or you're not changing jobs, I like this combination here with the Three of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, because this can indicate that you're working together with your colleagues on a nice project and you're finding success. You may even find yourself in a leadership role or position, but your community could be changing here in that the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, for those of you who are thinking about shifting your situation, whether that be from going from employed to a student or from student to employed, or whatever the case may be, the people that you interact with on a day-to-day, this may be positively changing for you, okay? Yeah, for sure. You then have the Queen of Cups here with the Knight of Pentacles. I would say, like, as well as the Nine of Swords, about this fear situation, Queen of Cups is a card of intuition. What does it, I would ask you, Scorpio, you know, I would ask you to tune in or to hone in on what your intuition is telling you, okay? With the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Swords, as it relates to this fear. Can you separate your intuitive knowing from your fear? Okay? This is something that you may want to pull apart and say, okay, I'm thinking this way because I'm afraid. I'm thinking this way because I intuitively know. Something like this, right? You then here have the Ten of Wands. You have the Four of Cups. And you have the Eight of Wands. So we have another 10 here in the final column. This is on its way, okay? With the triple tens in the final column, plus the Eight of Wands indicating that you've got a result coming in, a breakthrough, communication coming in from a distance, tens indicating completions, closure, cycles closing out. You're getting this result, okay? And also, I love that this is a breakthrough. Some of you are maybe looking, there's a small portion of you here that are looking at visa situations, with the Eight of Wands indicating travel by flight, okay? Some of you may be doing that. There could even be like a study of abroad opportunity for some of you. Not everybody, but yeah. And then Four of Cups, there's an opportunity here. I'm not really sure how this Four of Cups sits with this reading, but what I would say is this is a period of change for you, Scorpio, especially with your card on the bottom. I didn't even mention that. The Death card is the Scorpio card. And like your situation's absolutely changing at this time if this reading is for you. So try to make the most of this, right? Try to make the most of this situation is what I would say. On the bottom here, you do have the High Priestess, another card of learning. You know, another card of learning. This person is a keeper of knowledge and wisdom. Okay, so I definitely like that. But also your intuition when you see the High Priestess, okay? So again, I think some of you here separating your, like, fear from, like, your fear mind from your intuitive feeling, I think is really important. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Kipper energies to close out this reading, okay? All right. Okay. So you have poverty, expectation, unexpected income, false person, despair, and wealthy man. Let's get a clarification on these three cards here. Yeah, so I think some of you are wanting the result. I think prior to coming into this reading, you've been waiting for a bit, and you've placed an expectation on when that result needs to come in, but it's sort of like out of your hands, right? It's out of your control. And so I think that this is the period of time where you hear this news with the official person high honor. And I think this false person is probably connected to fear. Like, I think the false person in this case, because I'm not getting a weird vibe about the other people that are showing up in this reading. So I think this false person in this case is probably the fear state and this idea of like being in despair or fear around when the result's going to come in. I think that that's why this is here, okay? And yeah, I think even there's a little bit of a bonus here that some of you may not be expecting with the unexpected income, high honor, and wealthy man as well. So this is really nice. Let's see what's on the bottom. Yeah, your thoughts here. Look at your thoughts. Can you separate what am I fearful around? What am I intuitively knowing on? Okay. So this is what I have. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.